You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of JaysJournal.com and Fansided.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-host Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Good evening, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to a lovely evening of Jay Bird Watching. Liz McGuire joining us right at the beginning of the show. Jason Lyons, I'm your host, Craig Borden. Excitement is in the air. Baseball is here. We're only a week away, and we're just counting down the minutes to the Toronto Blue Jays home opener versus the Baltimore Orioles. So first things first, hi, Liz. Welcome to the club.
Hi, buds. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was the wrong podcast. I thought we were doing a wrestling podcast.
We are. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. Oh, yeah. I went double sunglasses tonight.
Oh God! As long as you don't go heel on me like John Cena did in Toronto a few weeks ago and pissed off all the children, I think we'll be okay.
Hi, everybody.
So, Jason,
I'm new to the podcast. I haven't been here in about a month and a half. It feels like.
Look at Papa Jason and his new
man
haircut.
Yeah, got the old. I finally realized there was a point in my life where you can't make mediocre hair look mediocre anymore. So I had to gas it. I had to go back to the roots, it's not too bad. I like it. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm almost already in vacation mode. Arizona TikTok just 2 days away. Going to go see the Guardians play the Reds on Sunday, and we are going to go see the Diamondbacks play the Cubs on Tuesday. Side interesting fact, you know who's taking our kids to the game on Tuesday?
Everyone Encarnacion.
Nope. MLB former superstar, Shea Hildenbrand will be escorting the boys home, and he's their coach for the week for the tournament that they're in, and the other Javi Lopez. Do you remember the other Javi Lopez?
I remember Javi. Yeah.
So he's a great dude. He's coached our kids before. I really like him. I think he's an awesome guy. Marty Lean, who was the head coach of Team Canada. Cool. So it's quite a cavalcade of coaches for this BLE tournament we're going down to in Arizona. So excited about Blue Jays baseball.
You're going to have to ask Shea Hillenbrand if how things are and make sure that he's not sinking the ship for your youth baseball aspirations, my friend.
Yeah.
So let's go diving into it. We have a big headline in the last 24 hours. The Blue Jays apparently have been, quote unquote, still courting a guy that has been trying to dodge said media, but pouring gas on it at the same time and all these other fun things. And I'm, of course, talking about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The wonderful front office has said that they are planning on making him a huge offer. And it's going to happen in the very near future. And I would hope that it's going to happen before Thursday next week, because otherwise it's just going to loom over the season. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be like every interview we've watched with Vladdy saying, I will listen to every team, including the Yankees. Yeah. Things we don't want to hear. So, Jason, you haven't been here in a bit. Let's give you the first dib at this one.
Well, it's interesting that it would, sort of start to surface. I have it on pretty good authority from a good friend of mine that's in the industry that this offer may have potential already been tabled, and they may already be talking about the finer parts of it. They did mention the fact that they have basically come to terms on every part of it, including the length of the contract. And I know that the Blue Jays fans and baseball fans and all the rest of it, I know that when we're starting to talk about, 13 to 15 year contracts, I know everyone kind of, sighs and they think how silly that is, because it's ridiculous. But, I think that we're living in a world right now, unfortunately, that was created by Juan Soto and Shohei to
mostly Shohei.
I think mostly Soto, because Soto's not a great baseball player, and he's he's an above average hitter, but I mean the league's full of those guys, and we can't pay them all $700 million. So it'll be interesting to see it all fall out. I am in 100% agreement with you, Craig. It has to happen ASAP. In fact, I'd like it to happen maybe even before the weekend's out. I think that if the Jays were smart and if they are this close, just think about what this does the day previous to the home opener. Like, I mean, really, Like,
So
I mean,
you missed a ticket being sold. There will be no tickets left for the whole
no,
weekend.
and
all
back
I'm
to
gonna say.
Liz thinking this is a wrestling podcast for a minute. It would be Vladdy Mania, which would also be a good shirt. Anyone that's marketing out there, Vladdy Mania,
Right.
and you can rip it off. Don't go orange and red though. Just
Stay very, very far from the orange and red.
I guess yellow and red.
But to that, yeah. But anyways, to that point, it is the point that Mark Shapiro has said is to keep Vladdy a Blue Jay for his career is the statement that they have been saying today and yesterday. That is the point of this contract. So to your point, Jason, the 14, 15, whatever the hell, double-digit years does not seem like it's off the table here. And as long as the dollar amount is right, I don't really care. And we do know at this point, what are we building to? You need that centerpiece, regardless of what management shows up next year. That you need that centerpiece. Liz, we already know that you're all over the Vlad train, and we all go but how important is this for this team going forward if they do lock this up?
I think I am and I'm not. I was on all the tweeters earlier than yesterday on some day, and I said, at this point they were playing. Vladdy has been all over the media, and I think he's going to learn some very important lessons here. So they were playing an interview he did. He apparently gave Keegan Matheson said that Vladdy had given an interview like 2 weeks ago that went live like yesterday, or it was coming out yesterday. He was saying that if he has like an okay year, he's still worth 500. But if he has a great year, he's like, I'm worth 700 million. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. But in terms of the higher end, but the thing is that I was afraid that they were far from a deal, and he, was going to really test out free agency, because if he's saying, if I hit my high potential, I know I'm going to get this amount of money. I think it's what I'm worth. Then that's telling me, or told me at the time, that he wasn't going to entertain offers, and he really was going to try out free agency. So I said we should trade him because we can't let him walk for nothing. And so if he is truly testing out free agency, then he should do it somewhere else, and we should get some things for him. Now, I understand that we don't trust our front office, but that is the best move that I've got. The other thing is that if we are close, and this is a very buttoned up head office that we have, they don't go around, spewing information or saying grandiose statements. It's not like, I believe maybe the Mets owner might do that, but we're not that guy, And so I really think that when they say, our intention is to lock him up, they probably have a deal almost done.
Yeah, I tend to agree. This might be the first thing I've actually legitimately understood and believed from Mark Shapiro in a long damn time. Outside of, hey, we're renovating the ballpark in Dunedin. Hey, we're renovating the ballpark in Toronto. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Yeah.
Don't you guys think that at this point that both Shapiro and Atkins have taken enough punches to the face from the fans that they've just maybe looked at each other in a room and said, okay, well, we screwed this up. We got to fix this ASAP. And if we don't, the ship goes rudderless. We have completely lost control. No one is respecting anything we do from this point on. And I feel like the other part of this is, and I hope that in August and September and potentially October, we're talking about this exact same thing that I'm going to say right now. The Blue Jays are playing excellent baseball right now. And if they can keep up even 3/4 of this kind of play, we may be looking at Vladdy's signing being able to pull guys into the Jays, because he is a very popular guy. He is liked across the whole league. He has nothing but great things to say about the Jays organization. And as we're going to talk about later, our outfield is going to need some help. Our outfield is not very good right now. Now, what could you go get? I mean, I think if you sign Vladdy and they play well into June, then I think we're looking at the potential of 2 or 3 really big moves to turn this team into a Dodger competitor. I think that's all you can sort of hope to be at this point. I mean, the Dodgers are the Dodgers are on
competition might be the problem.
They're on another level right now, and there are teams that are just underneath that level. And I mean, unfortunately, I kind of feel like the Yankees are still sort of in that. I mean, losing Garrett Cole is awesome. I mean, terrible. I mean, awesome.
It's lost Clark Schmidt possibly too.
Yeah. Oh, really? So, but regardless, I think that to compete with the Dodgers, you have to almost become a super team. You have to. I feel like our pitching is, and I don't know if I would have said this a couple of weeks ago, surprisingly strong enough to get us there. I feel like our offense has turned around, especially, some of the middle of the order stuff has just turned around to such a level where it's like, my God, like, who are these guys? And then you look at a guy like
we're gonna get there.
Andres Jimenez, who I mean, is this guy the biggest sleeper pickup of the whole, maybe the last 5 years based on how he's playing right now? Like, if he hits half as well as he's hit in spring training, it's all people will be talking about, because you can't get a ball past him. So if he's hitting home runs and hitting doubles, and I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. So I agree with you. We're going to get to that point, because the big focus for tonight is the who is going north of the border for the Blue Jays, and who's going to make the opening day roster. But we do have a great comment from our friends on X. Cody Senga's paranormal investigator is asking, who would have been Vlad's main competition? So I love the name, by the way. Well played. I appreciate it. But to that point, clearly the Mets. I really personally think that the Yankees are going full conspiracy theory, and that's why they said you can have the facial hair and shit this year with the dugout. I really think it's in that loosening up. They're like, hey, you know what? We're going to have a better chance of recruiting fun guys like Vlad if we are actually, loosening up some of our stuff in the locker room and things like that. But don't sleep on other teams too. The Washington Nationals have a very good young team. I don't see the Pirates being another great young team, being some of that would spend on somebody like Vlad. But it would not shock me if the Washington Nationals see their good talent come to fruition at all this year with James Woods, Dylan Cruz, all the guys that they've been gathering over the last 2-3 years. Throwing a guy like Vlad in their lineup makes them an instant contender with those young kids. So there's some things like that too. And when they're not spending on anything other than rookie contracts, you have money to throw at somebody like Vlad to become in and be your poster child and superstar. So great question. I don't know what you guys think about that piece, but I do think that regardless of who, there is going to be a crazy market for Vlad Jr. and it's going to be a battle at the end of the season if he's still a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, I think that again, I think we're looking at a different age of baseball that started in the last couple of years here, where these young superstars that are pushing the needle so far forward and not falling off. Like, I mean, when Ellie De La Cruz came in, everyone's assumption was at some point this dude was going to fall off, and it's been the same with Vladdy. It's been the same with a number of Bobby Witt and all these other guys that are now going to take this game for the next 20 years. And we thought, like the Rushmans and the all these guys, Gunnar Henderson, we thought they were all going to sort of plateau, and they're not. They're just getting better. And so I think what we're primed up for right now is one of the best baseball seasons we've ever watched. I mean, you're going to see teams who haven't been good in a long time be really good and really scary, and have, there's going to be some big number games and some big homer games and some guys that get 6-7 RBIs in a game, like cool shit like that. And lots of strikeouts and lots of good pitching outings. And I think that what this will cause, again, I think this talks to the comment that was being made, as well as what you said, Craig, is the money has to plateau at some point. Like Bobby Witt is a generational talent. You can't pay him $100 million. It's not a viable thing. It's not.
I don't remember what the extension was, but it was not this level for our Bobby Witt before they signed him for last season.
You can't start to get into that stratosphere. And I understand there are dumb teams like the Mets and the Yankees and the Dodgers that are willing to pay this kind of money for whatever. I mean, and the Dodgers seem to be the smartest one of the bunch because they do all the winning. But that being said, I think that we have to be mindful of the fact that the MLB teams are going to count more on their young talent now than ever before. So we will see some of these superstars where even a guy where you were like, I never thought he would move. He might move come the trade deadline or around it, because the Guardians are on fire, or Pittsburgh's as good as they probably could. Pittsburgh is, I mean, they're the biggest dark horse in a long time. And you throw a couple of good bats in there with a one.
And they don't have a first baseman.
I know. But I honestly, and I'll go on record. You can put it down, put it on the mat. That Vladdy stays. I don't think that he wants to leave. I don't think he wants the BS you get with the dogfight that comes with all of those contracts. I don't think he wants to be a show pony dragged around all the different places in the league to say, here's what we can do, here's what we can do, here's what we can do. I don't think he wants that. I think he wants a contract. He's made it pretty clear what he wants.
His way as that piece goes too over the last couple of years is what it looks like for the other players. The Blue Jays were obviously courting in that situation, trying to bring people in. I thought it was really interesting you brought up Bobby Witt Jr. So this gentleman the Royals extended him for 11 years prior to last season.
Really?
So this is 10 years. $288 million, $7,777,777.
Unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
You're talking a guy that
he's probably got incentives,
tools.
He's probably got some big incentives,
that was
like
the base.
Big playoffs, big World Series. I'll bet you his World Series incentive is massive.
Ooh, I never thought about that.
That's what they want.
Do you think you're sitting at home with him and his agent and you're going, yeah,
I know.
Screw you, you're fired.
So it's interesting you would say it, and I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but I do a little bit. So with everything that's going on with America and Canada right now and the tariffs and all this other stuff, I was watching this amazing story about one of the most successful companies in the world, actually. They're an Italian company. They make all kinds of different food and other things. And they were talking to the CEO and the CFO, who used to be husband and wife and are divorced. So first of all, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. And you would think point A, those two being divorced, would have caused a massive problem. It didn't. So what they realized was nothing changed financially for either of them. They haven't taken a salary increase, these two people, in 20 years. They're making billions. And in 20 years, neither of them. She goes, what do I need with more money? You just keep piling money on top. I'm busy here. I can't go spend it. So I think it finally gets to a point where you're like, I can't go spend it. Like you can keep trucking it to the front of the house. I can't keep spending it. And I mean, I can only have so many Lamborghinis, or I can only have so many, Cuban ropes. And you get to the point where you can't. It's astronomical money. Like what is Shohei going to do with $700 million? He's the most boring guy ever to walk the earth. Like,
but he's got a really cute dog, Jason. He's got a really cute dog.
I mean, what's he going to buy? More beige pants? Like the guy leads the league in beige pants. Like, come on.
And bland shoes. His shoes. He's like what was it? New Balance.
Yeah, the most boring New Balance ever.
New Balance. I will say this though about the monster.
He's not buying a Cybertruck.
Nah, about these monster contracts, I think what's going to be interesting is the first one we see really tank, and I think that'll kind of take us back down again. We're going to see what if Soto gets injured, and just is benched for
or plays like he's playing right now,
right? Or just trash.
Here's the Bobby Witt Jr. opt out that I didn't know about because it's not on the showing, but he opts out. He has an opt out in 2030, and so that's not terribly far. He can make some serious bank still for that. So Mike Trout is more boring than Shohei Ohtani. That's not the other.
Go on, Lizzo.
Okay, so back to my thing though. So I think that we all got high on Shohei. We're like, yeah, because he's the best baseball player, I don't know, maybe ever, right? That's cool. Isn't that fun? And then we kind of sort of came along and we're like, well, look at Shohei. This guy's probably worth some money. Nah, we got to come back down from this insanity. This billion-dollar baseball business is just, I don't know. I don't know how real it is. I don't know.
You imagine them making the sequel to that movie about the kid from Africa, and it's not $1 Million Arm anymore. It's $1 Billion Arm.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know. Something's got to give.
Yeah. So let's talk some of the cheaper ends of baseball. Let's talk about some of these rookies that might head north. What's this roster going to look like, gang?
They DFA'd a few today.
They did.
Did they?
A few.
Yeah.
I got to look them up who they did. But as far as who's going and coming and going, we've been talking many players. Did you happen to see who played third base today for the Blue Jays?
Was it Wagner?
It was Will Wagner, and damn, he looked good.
There's not much that doesn't look good on that kid. He's he's a diamond in the rough. He is a superstar.
Yeah, I'm very, very intrigued to see what he can do on a diamond this year. And to that point, it's just interesting to see that they were like, hey, it's the last few days of spring training. Let's truck him out there and see what happens. And he made a ridiculous diving play and gunned the guy out at first. And a few other ones that were a guy that hadn't played third base that I'm aware of or could see. Looked pretty damn like he'd been doing it all on. And that's saying something when we've seen the glove work that is Ernie Clement over the last year in third base. So I thought that was awesome because if he's able to do that, even a couple of days a week and spell out Ernie Clement, that's a giant win.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Ernie had a really good preseason. I was listening to the who was it? It was an away broadcast. It was just the other night, and they were talking about how much Ernie Clement looks like a pro right now. Like he walks to the plate like a pro. He plays the field like a pro. Like he doesn't look like the Ernie Clement, even from last year. And I feel like although Davis Schneider really came on at the end there of spring training, I feel like Davis was lacking that at the start of this spring training. The look like you should, dress for the job you want. So it's I feel like that's all, you're dead accurate on all that stuff. I mean, I think Ernie Clement is going to be a real him and Will Wagner are both going to be real linchpins because I mean, you've got nobody to play first behind Vladdy, right? Like, I mean, it's either Will Wagner basically, or it's Vladdy. Now, I mean, I know they can bring Martinez up. Martinez can play 3. He's also played a little bit of 1, I think. I mean, I think that you can sub in there. You can sub some guys in there. Who's the other back catcher we have? I know he's played a little bit of first base. Heidemann. He's played a little bit of first base in his career. You're not dying at first, but I mean, it would be nice to see Will Wagner be able to anchor and play every day because I think he complements the lineup well, and he's another one of those bats that you don't want to challenge. So you can't hide him, like he's going to hit around good hitters. So I feel like he helps, not hinders, certainly.
Yeah. And to that point, if he can roam around the infield here and spell out somebody, he's going to get plenty at bats. And I think that was the worry. How do you get him more at bats? Okay. DH, first base, let him play a little third. He can play second. You watch that.
Yeah.
That's a win. This team needs somebody that can be able to do that. And that even gives you an option on days where Bo Bichette needs the DH. You slide Jimenez over to short, put Will Wagner at second, and bang, Bo's in the DH spot for a day. There is some wins there. This becomes a kind of a circle for where we can wander around people around the infield and keep that rotating. And, we'll just steal a line from my Buffalo Bills that nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. So, but I do think that he makes this team, and I don't know how you don't. The bat's there, all the versatility. Like we mentioned, Ernie Clement is probably the third baseman at this point just because of how well he's done. He was there. It's his job at this point. He batted .405 this spring with 9 RBIs and 2 home runs, Ernie Clement.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
And that's in 15 games. 15 games. You want to know the only person on this whole team that had more hits than him this spring?
Barger? No. Bo Bichette. Oh, my God. We could do a whole show on maybe it was the hair. I don't know what it was, but that guy
was anchoring them down, man.
He even looks more like he looks engaged in the dugout, and he just looks like the guy from 3 years ago that was just like
hungry,
just excited to be out there. I was just looking at some of the players that were sent down. I mean, there's no real massive surprises. I mean, Alek Manoah being put on the 60-day, I just want to punch my computer until it breaks. Like, when are we going to cut bait on this guy? Nick Robertson.
I know.
I think Nick Robertson and Palmiajani. Is that right? Did I kill that?
Yeah.
Palma. Yeah, I got it the first time. I'm not even going to try. I mean, I think they both played well.
He's good.
Maybe not well enough to stay, but Addison Barger looks. I mean, I don't know if anybody since Vladdy Senior has ever swung the bat as hard as him. And to Pet Pie. Yeah, we've got. I mean, the
looks like our own personal Bash brother.
The quote from Pet Pie here. He's right, or she. I'm not gonna.
That's my friend Pete. It's boy.
Okay, there, Pizza Boy. He's right with Springer. I mean, what do we do here?
On the other,
he's not hitting his weight. He doesn't seem to be able to catch a ball in the outfield right now. And I mean, Barger's
he says he feels just fine, Jason.
Yeah, I would feel just fine too if I was getting paid that much money to be shitty.
Yeah. What's wrong? Okay, what's wrong with Springer? Like, how can you be that bad? You think
have you seen Jose Altuve?
Oh yeah, I have. It's true. I am so happy about that. We're all happy about that.
He's hurting the value of this card I have sitting here.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like horrible. Jason, you're a baseball man. Like, how can you get that? Like, you think like you would have an average ability to play baseball if you're that good? Like, you would be averagely good.
I feel like he's old.
Here.
I feel like he's old and he's slow and he has missed a lot over the last 2 years. And when he was in, he wasn't able to go full clip. I think he hasn't been able to go full clip for a while. And I think that like being a 52-year-old man, and I know George is not 52, but it stops healing. And it stops healing in a way where you can be how you were. So all you young kids out there, swing out of your shoes, lift as much weight as you can, run as fast as you can, do all that stuff until you can't do it. Because once you can't do it, like if someone was filming me do athletic things every day, I would be disappointed from 2 years ago to now as well. But I mean, I think it's just father time catching up with George, and I don't feel like he's had enough quality baseball in the last 2 years to allow him to continue to be good. There's guys that can stay good into their the twilight of their career, but I feel like they avoid getting hurt. Cal Ripken never got hurt, so you never noticed that he wasn't good at baseball anymore. Like his decline was sort of like that. Jeter, that, you know what I mean? Like they just went down a bit. It wasn't like what we're seeing with Altuve and with Springer. And let's be clear.
Let me use the old hitting term here that he might have stepped in the bucket.
Yeah. and let's be honest with each other. We're going to see more of this because these monster contracts and guys are signed for 6, 7, 8 years, probably longer than they should be. We're going to see these old farts rolled out there trying to find a spot for them because you can't bury a guy at DH who, again, isn't getting you hits. Like, the word hitter is in that.
The conversation we started with, Vladdy, 15-year deal, 14-year deal. That's a 41-year-old Vlad Jr. Just saying.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't seem like it's that far away, but that's it. That's where
I don't know. It's for me. I like George Springer. He's been a good soldier. I don't know how much time he's got left on his deal, be it 1 year, be it 2 year, one more year. You know what? Let him have his days, smell the grass one more time.
1 more year.
Does he? Oh, God. No.
Yeah, it's
one more after this year.
We got to hold you.
Maybe just that team was cursed. That Astros championship team, Altuve, you got Springer. Maybe just like, this is karma.
Maybe whatever Bregman can be or not.
How's Bregman doing?
It's had a decent spring. I'd say very Bregman-ish, but to that point, he's a couple years younger than the other ones too.
Yeah, that's true.
But so the Blue Jays are going to put him out there anyway. You still don't know. Maybe he's just taking it easy this spring, and maybe he turns it on, to your point, and finds what's left in the tank, and you get what the Oakland A's got out of David Justice in the movie Moneyball. Just need to squeeze what's left out of him, right? And take this thing to the hopefully the World Series and whatnot until the wheels fall off, right? So we got 211 of you in the chat right now. Please hit us up with what you're thinking about who makes this roster, who you excited about, so we can continue to talk here for a couple more minutes.
Or I'm going to slide into second.
Yeah,
or he's going to pull his muffins out of the oven. Either way.
Well, not with my thumb though.
No.
Yeah, I never understood why some of those have a thumb hole in it, and that was the thing that it's like, okay, if I wanted to cover my whole hand and not break my fingers, why do I need a thumb?
This would break your thumb. Like if you slide in, we'll talk about dumb gear another time. This was just sitting in I'm in my son's room, and there's all kinds of fun stuff to mess with in here. So as you can see, my attention span is not, not the best.
ADD much, my friend. So we got a comment. What's going to happen with Yariel Rodriguez? I would like to see something. I just got an autographed baseball card from him on the other day. So was he in the send downs today? I feel like I saw something with his news recently.
Okay. No, he's been kept as a reliever.
It was Jake Watson, I was saying. Yeah. And
what I've got is a list. I've got the list of relievers right now, and it may be wrong, but this is what I've got. I've got Hoffman, Green, Garcia. By the way, can we take a quick second to talk about the fact that Jimmy Garcia looks like an absolute beast? Like a beast. Any hoozle.
He's dialed it up a notch. That's even better.
Nick Sandin, Brandon Little, Ryan Yarborough, Zach Pop, and Yayrod.
Good.
Yayrod.
And now I don't know if that's accurate. That's what the
current projected roster looks like.
Yeah.
Why
he hasn't been sent down yet.
I'm just gonna bitch about Zach Pop till I'm blue in the face. I would like someone different. Thank you.
Yeah. That's
my hot take. That's like my big hot take. I would like someone different, please.
Well, here's the other thing that I think that this spring has, and you know, we've been through this as a group. They talk about this ad nauseum in the baseball world that the Jays have the worst, you know, like one of the worst farm systems, one of the least cupboards full situations. I don't believe that for a second based on what I just saw in spring. I saw a lot of guys that were surprisingly good and could probably play. Like if the Jays were in a full rebuild, if they had gutted the fish and they were going, we would see some pretty exciting dudes up playing. Guys who've got speed, guys who don't have a lot of care in the world for their body and stuff like fun baseball. Like, you know, and for me, it's one of those things where you think to yourself, okay, let's say Springer starts out cold and keeps cold. I mean, do we have anybody to bring up? Yeah, we have 3 or 4 guys that I'd like to see come up and see how they fare against, you know, and what all started this? This all started with us getting injured in a place where we had way too many players at second base a couple of years ago, where we started to see the Buffalo Club start to filter through up and in. Schneider, Clement, you know, all those guys coming up and through. And us being able to have a look at them and being like, well, how can the farm system be ranked so low when every single guy we bring up seems to perform? Like, what are they basing this on? And so I look to other teams like Pittsburgh last year where they brought up a lot of players and they all sucked. And you're like, okay, Pittsburgh's got the second highest ranked farm team in the league, but they suck. They're great as a farm team maybe, but they're not MLB players, where what we seem to have is a predominance of MLB players. So again, Liz, to your point, we may get to a point quickly if they win a bunch where they're like, all right, Springer, we're going to trade you for a bag of balls and we're going to bring somebody up. Or we're going to trade you and we're going to try and get somebody that's 2 years younger and we'll send you to Detroit, or, well, actually Detroit's a bad example. They've been pretty good, but like the White Sox or somewhere like that. You can finish out your 2 years in the sun, maybe send him back to Houston. I mean, I'm sure he's still got friends and family there, whatever. Anyone who would take him and just get, I don't know, a set of white walls back or something.
Money.
I don't know. Call Lou Brown. Call Lou Brown and see if we can get a set of white walls.
Yeah. Well, I had to call you right back. You got a guy who needs some white walls.
I'm telling you, I watched Liz. I don't know if you've seen the Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, the redo of the original Burt Reynolds Longest Yard.
No, my sports movies is really trash.
You should watch it, and when you do, just
movie night.
There are so many good little quotes and things that I still use, and they still make me laugh. And then I watched it last night with my kids, and they would come up, and the boys would look at me, and we would laugh like donkeys. It's a great, way underrated as a sports movie. It's written terribly. It's acted even worse. It's got Stone Cold in it, Kevin Nash.
It can only be acted so good when you have the great Khali that can barely speak in it.
Great Khali who can barely talk. Goldberg. I mean, it's hilariously
Michael
bad.
Irvin here.
But I mean, Michael Irvin's so good in it. But Chris Rock, it might be the funniest Chris Rock has been as caretaker. Just there's so many good ones. It's just a classic movie. Yeah, really good. Chris Berman. Whoop.
I will watch them.
enjoy. But it's also, we got one that we wanted to talk about here really quick before we go off. So we want to keep this simple tonight because we have another show tomorrow that we had to gear up for. But what about Miles Straw? Where the hell did he come from this
What
season?
the hell?
He's in that top. Jason and I were talking before you got on the show tonight, Liz, but he's actually tied for the fourth best hitter in the fourth most hits this spring training with 12. 16 games. He's batting 414. So 29 at bats, 12 hits.
That's great. I like this so much because we just got him, I think, on accident. That's not.
Well, and he took a lot of heat.
He took heat.
He was taking heat.
This one was asked to join the chat. So thank you for joining the chat.
There you go. I love Craft Dinner. You're one of my favorites. Love KD.
I love that Miles Straw is gonna be like, no, I'm here to play ball. Stop it. So yeah.
Game on.
Let's go.
Yep. International pool money guy.
IPM.
So I do also want to point out the fun that our friends are having in the wonderful chat that is our cheap seats here, listening to our shenanigans. Our friend Pet Pie that I've done a few times, and Mish is apparently Mish was asked what's the over under on Springer batting 250 this year, and there's just some back and forth going on. It's match of the season as long as it lasts.
Pete's my friend. I've got the bet that this is going to be the year that Alejandro Kirk steals the base every single year. I lose that.
There it is.
Yeah, I will say this too. Have you guys noticed? Doesn't Bichette have 3 or 4 steals in spring?
He's tried 3. He has 1.
Well, still, I like to see him try.
At it. No reason.
It's
correct. It's a different part of the game.
Ooh, also,
Clement's got 1.
Yep. I hope
Anders Jimenez and Addison Barger. Stuart Baroa is the one that I would love to see make this team, but I think he's on the outside looking in. But his speed game does add to that.
Yeah. I hope Fondy's base running improves. That's
it's just his choices. He doesn't have to get faster. He just has to make better choices.
Exactly. It's not about
speed. He reminds me so much of my son Jet. He makes bad choices because he's aggressive. Now, I will say this about both my son Jet and Laddie. I feel like they both see the game at a level that's above what my standard of looking is. I see a ball thrown to third base, and I see the fact that kid can probably throw you out at 2. But if you don't challenge him, how do you ever know? Like, how do you know later in the game if it's an important part of if you get out in the second inning by taking a more aggressive lead or trying to steal 2 or trying to steal 3 or trying to steal home, I don't care. And I sometimes like that about Vladdy, but Vladdy makes bad decisions at times you shouldn't. Like in the 7th inning, don't make that decision. Stop. Let somebody hit you home.
But pay attention.
Especially when Santander's batting behind him this year.
Yeah.
So back to that, right out the gate, hot start type thing. We were talking Miles Straw. The other part is this could happen. 2-3 weeks, he could turn back into a pumpkin, and yes. But that is why you play the game, KD. It's that simple. So I feel like I got a good omen the other day, ripping out baseball cards on the show here. So not only did I get some, I'll say, Blue Jay vibes, but I got really good hits in Blue Jay vibes. So I got this wonderful Don Mattingly card. It's all sparkly, and it's numbered to 25. And then I got a Yay Rod. It's all blue and shiny, numbered 25.
That's really cute.
It's very cute. I'm excited. I was like, "Ooh!" I haven't opened up any cards that even had Blue Jay proxy stuff in it in weeks, and all of a sudden I opened that up. Kind of felt like a win. Just gonna say. So, seeing tomorrow, gang. Like I said, we're keeping it brief tonight because we have this wonderful gentleman joining us tomorrow that we're going to talk all things hitting, meeting Kelly Gruber, and hitting the cycle in the Sky Dome. And his name is Jeff Fry. So we are going to have him here tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific Coast time. How excited are you guys to have not only baseball coming, but we get to have a former big leaguer talk to us a little bit before opening day. And then next week, somebody on opening day.
Man, he was a big leaguer for almost 10 years. He's a sports agent now. I'm really super excited. He's also apparently going to be in Toronto at the same signing as Kelly Gruber. So I will be there.
I did not know that, but that's really cool.
Yeah. See, I miss out on so much.
I think you guys sneak in.
I think one of the things with Jeff Fry, and I appreciate this very much, and I don't know if we talk about this enough. I mean, we're getting a pretty decently sized audience, not only live when we're doing these things, but a lot of behind the scenes stuff is us challenging these old players to come on the podcast and talk about things. And I got to give it to Jeff. All I did was challenge him once, and he was like, "Hey, I'll do it." I was like, "Oh, great. That worked well." So I'm excited. I've been doing a bunch of hitting clinics with my kids. And so we've been, really trying to make sure that we're focusing on some things. And I've watched a lot of things, and Jeff Fry was a very underrated, good hitter. I mean, you can't hit for the cycle and not be a very good hitter. And so I'm really excited about that. And for any of you guys, Craft Dinner, Mish, any of you guys over there on that side of the pond, if you get a chance, somebody's got to try and get me a Gruber signed something. We got to get it for Kenny. We got to get it for Kenny.
I will be there.
Not just a really weirded out limp bat baseball starting lineup guy I got for Liz. It's Kelly Gruber.
I will say this. So Mish had a comment I'm just going to bring up. No, I'm not going to opening day. I said in the news I wasn't going to opening day unless they extended Vladdy. I don't want to go to opening day this year.
It's not happened yet.
I'm going to sit and hang out with my buds and drink beer and shout at the TV. But I just need a minute.
And we're going to talk to Bob File on opening day.
Yeah.
When is that? No. He's got the Darth Vader no in the comments from me.
No, man, I'll be there, but not no.
Let's go, Liz. We'd like to cut live. Maybe we could get Mish finally on the show if we cut live to you. Yeah, we're cutting live to, and we got some fun stuff. We're going to start to insert some stuff into the show. With some fun stuff.
Here's Ollie with the weather.
Yeah, here's Ollie North with the weather. Skull Rain. One of the greatest. One of the greatest. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I think we say this a lot. I feel like the anticipation for this year has changed for me dramatically over the spring. I feel like we've watched this team play well. I feel like they've got a bit of a chip on their shoulder, and I feel like John Schneider is definitely the right guy to try and take them there this year. I think he's pissed off. I think he realizes this could be his last kick at the cat, and he wants to go down swinging. He wants to win with this team badly, and I feel like he is going to pull out every stop. He's going to go at Shitkins and try and get, if they need a guy or if they need to drop a guy or move a guy. I feel like he's going to be more aggressive than he ever has been with this stuff, and just excited about it.
Yeah.
Side note, Liz, I feel like I got to go to this. Why wasn't I invited?
I don't know, man. It's on Twitter. Gotcha.
I'll have to find that. It's sunglass guy. Corey Hart.
No, you don't understand. I'll have to go to Mississauga. That's far for a girl downtown.
I'll pick you up. I'll pick you up. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, anyway, so I'm excited for the home opener, though. I'm stoked for the opening day. I truly believe it should be a national holiday. It's a day of friendships, high fives, and chugging beer. And for me, this year, shouting at my television. I will be there on, I think, the Friday game because the giveaway is super good. So I will be there. Mish, I will see you there.
There it is. Whoop, there it is. I thought you knew.
You would like to... Yeah, there it is. Is there anything the two of you would like to talk out before tomorrow night? Or are we just going to say, wish you everybody a great 24 hours and we'll see them tomorrow?
Yeah, hey, guys and gals and everybody, if you guys can tune in tomorrow night, it'd be great. I know it's an off day for us. And we may see some changes coming day-wise to what we're doing. We try and, as we all have regular jobs and we want to, eventually just do this. One of the ways we can do this is share this with your friends, share it with your peers. The more people we get listening, subscribing, clicking those buttons, following us, the more opportunity we have to sort of, bring this fun, group of shenanigans to real life. And, so you may see us on Wednesdays, you may see us on Thursdays, you may see us on whenever days, but
who knows?
we're so happy that you guys stick with us and move around with us and just, try and be pliable and stick with us. And tomorrow night's going to be fun.
We will alert.
Yeah, tomorrow night should be fun. He's a bit of a character, so I don't think he'll disappoint.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm going to say one more thing. If anybody has anybody they want to have on the show, hit
us up.
Also hit them up. Be like, come on, you should go on the Jaybird Watching Pod. Go on the Jaybird Watching Pod. Please do so. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we got
Challenge them.
251 of you hanging in the cheap seats tonight. Thank you very, very, very much for joining us. We love having you all live. And please hit us up on social media. That is the whole big reason that all of us really got into doing this to begin with, was to interact and hang out with more Blue Jays fans. So hit us up, and maybe you'll be on the show. Maybe we'll put your comments up like we've been doing with everybody in the chat this evening. That was the whole point. Hear your comments, talk it out, and then every once in a while we get some cool people on that we get to interact and send more questions from all you too. So make sure you have those questions ready for former Blue Jay Jeff Fry tomorrow, and we'll start a wave here. So good times. So thank you again, everybody. We will see you tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We are going to have fun with Jeff Fry, and until then, catch us live where you can, and catch us wherever you get your podcasting pleasures from. Like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it. Peace out, everybody.
Elbows up, people. Elbows up.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Parrot walk.
Thank you for listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC, and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider joining to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!